So this past summer, I went to Audiofeed Festival 2022. Audiofeed started back in 2013 as an attempt to keep alive the spirit of the legendary Cornerstone Festival. In fact, many of the people involved in Audiofeed were also involved in Cornerstone. Because of different obstacles, not excluding a certain pandemic, Audiofeed had not been able to host their festival for about 3 years. But this year, they were back. I had always wanted to go to Audiofeed. After years of seeing a lot of my favorite artists play there, I knew it was the place to be to hear some of the best in independent Christian music, along with other great artists. However, year after year, I always had some sort of excuse of not being able to go. But with Audiofeed coming back this year, I figured making a video on the festival was the perfect excuse to attend. So I bought my ticket for all 4 nights of the event because I wanted the full Audiofeed experience. Since I had never been before, I had a few of my own questions. What was Audiofeed? Was it a Christian festival? Was it just a festival run by Christians that allowed people of different beliefs to perform? Even though I could have answered all of these questions by looking at their info page on their website, I thought, what's the fun in that? I could just hear from the artists themselves what their thoughts on the festival are, and I'll make a video about that. And that's just what I did. I reached out to all the artists playing at Audiofeed and asked if I could talk to them in person. These were the artists who got back to me and were gracious enough to give me a few minutes of their time. Now I wanted to clarify that I love each and every one of these artists that I spoke with. We had great conversations, and I hope we can continue to maintain a relationship in the years to come. That being said, I wanted to be clear that not all of the views expressed in these interviews represent the views of this channel. Meaning yours truly. Now, I could have tried to debate those conversations, or I could at least rebut many of those beliefs in my commentary while editing this video, but that's not the point of this video. If you want to know more about my personal Christian beliefs, you can check out the rest of my content, especially my podcast. With all that being said, let's rock and roll. One of the cool things about Audiofeed is that it takes place in Champaign, Illinois, which is only less than an hour drive from where I live. So rather than pay for a hotel for 3 nights or camp in the air-conditioned-less and memory foam mattress-less outdoors, I decided to commune each night and brave this economy's high-stacked gas prices. Thanks, Obama. Day 1 was Early Access Day, which is pretty much warm-up day for what was to come, and a chance for anyone who could get off work on a Thursday to enjoy some music. I arrived pretty early so I could get my bearings on the festival and what I was doing for the video. Vendors and attendees and musicians alike were slowly trickling in to prepare for the event and or to just relax and catch up with friends they hadn't been able to see in probably 3 years at least. I was able to meet some friends of my own who had been attending Audiofeed for a while, including my friend Nick Gundy, who's been a freelance photographer at the festival for a while as well as an impromptu stage regular, and my friend Cedric Wilder, who has been a part of the festival's photography media team for a few years now. Eventually, music rang out from 2 of 5 of the stages being used that weekend. I was able to enjoy quite a few of those sets, as well as have my first 2 interviews at the festival.
I'm here with my friend Nicholas Gundy, here at Audiofeed, of course, as I have been for the past few hours. And I'm here with Corey, right?
Yes.
With Saint of Pine Hill. I'm so sorry, I was blanking out. Saint of Pine Hill. And
It was a pretty easygoing day, so if I wasn't interviewing people or checking out different sets, I was hanging out with my 2 great friends.
I just want to show everyone we're all just hanging out by ourselves, us 3 in our cameras.
What's your phone case?
It's cool.
Walking around the festival grounds, I could tell that something was different about this particular gathering of people. The diversity of the attendees as well as the artists was very noticeable, and I wonder what it was that made this festival so special that it drew so many different people to it.
so one thing I'll say so far about Audiofeed, I mean, it's barely even started yet. But I'm kind of just surprised at the mixture of generations here at the fest. I mean, you've got goth people, you've got normal people. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you got like young people like around my age, teenagers to college, and you got children, and not only that, we got some boomers here too, some older people as well. So that's I don't think that's anything that I really expected. I know we've only just started here, like people literally just started playing music, but how does it feel to be here at Audiofeed this year?
It is such a relief.
Yeah.
I think I speak for multiple people, or just like pretty much everybody, that like we've really missed this.
Yeah.
We've missed a hot, sticky weekend, just like moshing and getting dirty and praying over each other and breaking bread. It's just like it's a special family reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great 5 minutes here at Audiofeed. A little hot, but we brought the heat from Florida. So.
Have you been to Audiofeed before?
Yeah, 2019.
Okay,
That was
gotcha.
That was a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing this year. I'm just out here having a blast, hanging out with friends, seeing friends' bands, and just enjoying myself.
Awesome. Is this your first time here at Audiofeed?
No, I've actually played at every audio feed. There was one that I did, not as Spoken Nerd, but I played with a band called State Parks that I front. It's like an indie rock band, but yeah,
Okay.
I've played every year since its inception.
It's been good. I got in like midday yesterday and just been kind of settling in, saw some bands playing today, but just kind of hanging out with people and just getting progressively more fun as I'm here, so yeah.
It's awesome to be back after a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because, they had to cancel it the past 2 years. 2019 was the last year they actually had it, but I was in Japan at the time.
So it's been longer.
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. So I haven't been here in 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like so different, and it's been so long, but at the same time, it feels like no time has passed at all.
Right.
It's kind of just like I'm seeing people that I met over the years and able to just kind of build new relationships.
Reconnect,
Reconnect with everybody.
Yeah. How does it feel to be here at Audiofeed this year?
It's really nice. It's like a family reunion for us. So I mean, we've been in this world for many years. So it's just like family we haven't seen in a long time.
Right.
I just wanted to quick add that I'm sorry, Nate. I'm not a professional, and your video was out of focus the whole time, and I didn't notice. So, apologies to Nate, and apologies to my viewers.
What year number is this for you?
For Audiofeed, I'm not sure because of the pandemic numbers, but we only missed the first one. We've been here for the rest of them, so
Awesome.
since 2014-ish,
Nice.
maybe 15.
And did you do Cornerstone before?
Yeah, we did.
Cool.
I think it feels great. We were supposed to have played it the past couple years, but it had been canceled, and so it feels really good to be able to come out here finally after 2 years, 3 years.
2 years. Yeah. This is year 3, I think.
So.
Yeah. Oh, year 3 for you?
Well, no, so we've been booked. This is our 3rd time being booked, but 2 of them got canceled. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a crazy
It's a cool thing that they do out here. So
yeah,
I
sure.
hope that they keep doing it. Like it's a good year and then it keeps growing. So
Yeah, it's my first time here too, so I'm learning more about it as I go.
It's dope, dude. Yeah, it's really cool. The weather's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't want to make up its mind.
Yeah, okay, so in California, when it's about to rain, we know it's about to rain. And we have time. Over here, everything got soaked. It was gnarly, dude.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm just kind of like overwhelmed with just how nice everybody has been.
Yeah.
And just everyone's so positive and
We're not used to nice people, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Everyone's been really communal. It's been a blessing.
Yeah.
Really.
That's awesome. So is it you guys' first time at Audiofeed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, mine too. So
that's cool.
That's a big reason why I'm doing the video.
Yeah.
But awesome.
Oh, great.
It's been awesome.
Really awesome.
So when did you guys get in here?
We got in Thursday, and it was like in the early afternoon.
Yeah.
Around then.
So seen a lot of good acts so far?
Yes. We watched Lepers set, we watched Dolos, and we watched, what else did we see? Ravener. We're about to watch Wedding Party. Very excited to see that.
Nice.
We saw Eric Clayton last night.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Saw Undercover last night too.
Undercover.
They put on a good show.
I wish I could have stayed that late. I had a drive to make, but...
A lot of the things that we've been saying back and forth with everybody is it's more like a family reunion. Because we haven't been able to do it for a couple of years because of COVID. Yeah. So we missed a lot of these people we didn't get to see for those 2 years off.
Right.
So that's the vibe of it. It's very family reunion-like.
Yeah, I'll back that up. There's a lot of people here, and I come from a big family. It feels very family reunion-ish.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
A lot of people equals family reunion.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I brought my 7-year-old. He's probably going to interrupt us.
That's fine.
And he is like just in heaven right now. He's having a total blast. So.
That's awesome.
Hey, buddy. It's been really good. Like, been able to reconnect with a lot of people. Be here with my kid, and it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Stewie.
How does it feel to be here at Audiofeed so far?
Man, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
It's been, pretty decent weather, minus the mud.
Yeah, minus the 5 minutes of rain that we just got.
Yeah. Great people. Great eclectic mix of music so far.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It took us way too long to get here.
Really?
But, yeah.
Where'd you come from?
We come from Nashville, but we got held up on the every obstacle hit us on the way.
Construction.
Yeah. We were like going through
accidents.
back Kentucky roads for like 5 extra hours.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah. Well,
so,
yeah.
It
At
feels
least
great
you made
to finally
it.
be here. Yeah.
Did you get here today?
We got here last night at like 1 a.m.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Back to
I didn't want to show up
here?
the day we were playing. You know what I mean? Because I just wanted to make sure we had all our ducks in a row.
No, yeah, and get your bearings beforehand.
That's right.
Yeah. Are you guys camping here?
We got a Airbnb.
Oh, okay, cool, good setup. You guys just got here, but how does it feel to be here at Audiofeed this year? Fresh.
Yeah, it's a fresh experience for us. We've never been here.
So okay, it's your first time.
We're excited
here.
to see the grounds and everything.
Okay.
We've just walked around and explored some of the stages and stuff, and it looks pretty cool.
Okay.
Never been here, so.
First time, but excited to be here.
Gotcha.
Excited to be a part of it. Jump in and.
Right. Yeah, you're jumping right in.
For sure.
This is my first year as well.
Oh,
what was
right
that?
Rock some socks off.
Rock some socks off.
So we can kind of learn together.
Yeah. I mean, I've been here for a few days. I've been here for the whole festival, and so I've learned a lot from different people.
I've enjoyed asking everyone their name. Yeah. I enjoy meeting so many people, and everyone that's working has been incredible. It's so awesome. I think that's been the clearing depression.
There's a lot of passion here. Everyone is invested. That's really cool. That's what we're all about.
This is my first festival period that I've been to, so much less I've never played at one for sure.
Okay.
But this is the first one that I've even attended. So
okay.
It's been cool. I've heard so much about Audiofeed, and it's kind of like in my niche circles, it's the festival of the year. So it's awesome
same here.
to be able to be asked. I'm just really honored. So I'm just very thankful.
I've played Audiofeed since its inception for the most part. I think I missed 1 or 2 years, but I was here the first one they did. So,
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So, what year Audiofeed is this for you guys?
2022.
2020.
Yeah.
I meant what? I guess what number? Like how many times?
It's our second.
It's our second. Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is my first time.
See, there was a 2 in there. He was half right. Yeah.
He's roundabout, you know. So, is this your is this your first year at Audiofeed or?
Oh no. I think I've been to every one but one when he was born. I think I missed that one because he was born during it. But other than that, I want to say I've been to all of them.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe. Yeah. I think so.
So a veteran.
Yeah.
Awesome. And, where did you guys come from?
We're from Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, okay. I'm from Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh, sweet.
It's kind of crazy because we have been trying to get out here for the past 3 years. Yeah. This is year 4. Yeah. So the very first year was the same day as my bachelor party. So we were in Boston seeing Half Heart play their final show, one of their final shows. Yeah, reunion show. Yeah. And then the past 2 years shut down with COVID and everything, and we're finally here today, and we're so excited about it.
Yeah, it's one of those festivals where I've wanted to come here since I was like 15.
Yeah.
So like 15 years later, I'm finally here. So we're here.
Shout out to Marshall Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you you first arrived here today, right?
So I was here, what day is it? It's Friday today?
Yeah.
I'm jet lagged.
All confused.
Yeah, I arrived yesterday, so I was able to catch Former Ruins play.
Okay.
And then Families, is that the other
Families,
band?
yeah.
They were so good. Yeah, both
I saw
both
them
of
too.
them.
They were really good.
Both of them were excellent, so I was able to catch their sets, and so and then
Cool.
just today, just been sort of walking around, exploring the grounds. And,
Right.
it's been great getting caught up with some people who I've known from afar online, but then have just been able to meet in person now.
Right. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Like us.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So where did you come in from?
So I came in from Los Angeles, California,
wow, okay.
so that
LA.
area. I'm out there getting my master's right now, and so that's what I'm doing at the moment, and just work a 9-to-5 job out there. And then I'm initially from the Atlanta area, so I've only been out in California for a couple years. So back in the humidity, this is more like home, the trees.
It's honestly cooler today than it was yesterday.
It is nice. The clouds have been super nice.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't rain. Awesome. So what do you think is so special about Audiofeed, given your experience?
Yeah, Audiofeed is very community-minded when it comes to bands and just different artists all around the states. So it's just like one big summer camp for 3 days.
Yeah.
That we get to come together and see each other again.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it definitely feels like summer camp.
Oh yeah.
But
I think because it is sort of smaller than some of the other festivals, but it is a bit more intimate. Like you know everybody here, and it's more connected, more familiar. Sort of, I don't know. It feels like family. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So what do you think is so special about Audiofeed Festival?
Community. And that was a buzzword at my college, and somehow it resonates here as well. Because like all of the barriers are broken down between artists and fans. Because like at the end of the day, we're all human, no matter what kind of credentials we got, no matter what we do. We all come to one place because we all love music. My bad.
You're good.
We all love music. We all love Jesus of certain sorts, and like that's like also a great place to rekindle our relationship with God as well.
I would probably say first of all, the staff is awesome.
Yeah.
Like everybody that works here is like super nice and accommodating, and like I think it's just like a fellowship community mentality as opposed to a business mentality.
Right. Right.
And so it's really inviting. And then I think that trickles down into like the way everything is ran. So everybody's just like it's like you want to be here.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think the same.
Cool.
Well, I was literally born and raised in the Cornerstone festivals.
Oh, okay. So you got to see those.
My dad was part of the staff of that my whole life. So to me, in a lot of ways, this feels like coming home.
Yeah.
You know, because this is like more or less feels like a spin-off of that.
Right.
And so this exact kind of niche subculture is so one of a kind.
Yeah.
Like this, what this is, and it's very much kind of like a coming off of that.
Right.
What I knew very well from the Cornerstone days. So it feels like coming home.
Well, I think, one thing that I see here that's a little bit different than other festivals is it really does seem that Audiofeed is very intentional about like family and like kinship between artists. So it's actually a festival that feels purely built upon community and in not as much like, hey, if we book these acts and these DJs and these vendors, like we're going to make a lot of money. It's more a true community gathering, and I think that's what sets it apart.
I mean, it's just a consistent combination of like people, and I think this came out of Cornerstone Festival, which was a family reunion for like lots of different scenes and punk rock world and folk musicians and metal musicians. And so it kind of like brought some of that spirit forward with it, and I think it really did a good job of maintaining the family aspects of all that. So some of these guys, we've been friends for a decade or two. Like, that's really common around here. It's like, oh yeah, hey friend, I haven't seen in 4 years, but I've seen all these years, so we kind of grew up together or something.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's a lot of people who I've noticed it's not just like one brand of people. There's a lot of different music cultures that kind of come together and form a community, and people are helping each other out, and it just seems like everybody's for everybody and trying to pump up everybody else's music and their art, and it doesn't matter if you're metal or folk or indie rock or polka or I haven't seen that yet. No, I haven't. But I would assume if somebody came, there'd be a crowd. And people
Someone's got to do it. Bring polka to Audiofeed.
Maybe that'll be my side project.
Yeah, do it.
Project,
yeah, I think it's just the non-judgmental nature of just the whole festival. I think it's just like I think there's people from just so many different backgrounds that come to this. It's like not everybody, I feel like you can come to this as not a Christian and still feel welcome in the festival, because it's just like, it's just meant to be like a very inviting, a very inclusive feel to the festival. And I think just all the diversity of the bands and the people, and like I've already had a lot of really good conversations with people about faith, life, and just lots of different things already. So I think just Audiofeed is just a very really sincere. Like I think it's just a very there's no agenda behind it. They're not trying to sell you anything. It's just a group of people getting together to enjoy music and fellowship.
Looking around just this little small tent, like 90% of the people here from the old Cornerstone days, and we were talking to people yesterday from the old Cornerstone days. So if you have that Cornerstone DNA in you, that's kind of cool, because this event is off the back end of the some of the same promoters that used to do Cornerstone. But outside of that, just there's not a lot of festivals doing Christian-centered music festivals. Audiofeed, I feel like it's one of the last.
Yeah.
I think there's genre-specific ones. I know there's some hip-hop ones going on, but there's not ones like this that just kind of invite all kinds of genres of music to one place, and you can feel really safe. Nobody's getting crazy and drunk and fighting. It's just really safe, good family vibe, listen to good music, and go home. So I think that's the draw. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's just everyone's geared in with passion, like, and unity with that. Everyone's trying to make it the best that they can, and the heart behind it.
I'd say the heart, the community aspect. Yeah, it feels like everything's a shared experience. And there's just so much history with it as well that like people just want to keep it alive as long as they can, whether it be like alive so that someone else can come to it for the first time, or just kind of like alive in their own like experience to like pass on.
The vintage Cornerstone shirt over there, like the 96, and just seeing it like still going in this sort of form, Yeah, for sure.
I would say, like, there's a lot of musicians here, but you don't have to be a musician. Like, you gotta love music, and I feel like there's a lot of people that, love music and make up this community that not only, like, you don't have to play an instrument. That's like what I'm trying to say, so.
Yeah, just be here, be part of the community.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There's a big community feel here.
Yeah.
So, especially with like the Grave Robbers, like Goth Mom. It's like
Right,
you're
yeah.
home away from home, Or she like gets you everything you need. A lot of the people here, they all know each other. It's very community based.
That's great.
That's been really cool.
Yeah, there's quite a variety of music.
There's that, yeah.
There's a lot of, there's metal, but there's a good amount of like alternative kind of sounds, punk rock,
right?
Alternative, and of course, we're big fans of more like goth rock and styles of such. So, there's a great variety, and you could tell there's a lot of history here. You talk to people, and they talk a lot about kind of just stories from the past here. There's a lot of history, and
like with Cornerstone and
stuff. Going back to Cornerstone, I wish I had known about or been part of that, but
Same here.
I was living out west during that time, so it's interesting to hear about, and it's exciting to be like a new band on the scene here and being part of this. So
I guess I would say that it's like fairly intimate in the sense that it's not quite as huge as some other festivals, but also it's like this sort of crossover between people who are like assessing what they believe, people who are like in the quote unquote Christian music industry, but then other people who are on the outskirts of it, and it's just sort of like an interesting blend of there are people across the spectrum of belief, religious or not, just of like what they subscribe to, and I think that's interesting. It's rare to find, but
for sure, yeah.
And maybe at times uncomfortable. Like I've been talking to people about that a lot.
Yeah.
We like all really like black and white. We like to have polarizing. Things make us feel comfortable, and you kind of come to something like this, and you're like, oh, well, I think this, and they think that, but like, they're actually like a really warm, hospitable person, and it makes you sort of like examine yourself, examine what you think, and I think that can be both frustrating and also like very healthy to do.
Yeah, very challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
But also like having conversations that you maybe normally wouldn't have.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome.
It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of on the fringe as far as Christian music festivals go, which is kind of nice and kind of refreshing, and I feel like it really fits a certain demographic that doesn't typically reach as much with a lot of the Christian music festivals. I mean, there's like a Gothic ceremony down there, and
the grave robbers.
Yeah, grave robbers.
Yeah.
I robbed 7 graves last night.
Oh,
yeah.
I won't put that in the video.
Which, by the way, they were so sweet because they were like giving out so like snacks and food.
Oh yeah, they're great people.
They're just really good people, and we were talking to, what's her name, Donna, last night, because she was talking about like she lives in the outskirts of Cincinnati, and she's like, if you guys are ever on tour, you're coming through there, my home's open to you guys too. So that's very great. Sweet because it is like a big family around here. And to kind of your point, Russ, I was actually overhearing a gentleman this morning at breakfast saying that this is always the festival that he feels like he fits in the most at, He's like, I go to other ones. He goes, but this is the one I always feel like I'm coming home.
Yeah.
So I think you nailed it like that when you're saying
cool.
it's a place for everybody from all different outer fringes of their faith. Yeah.
I like the heart and mission and message behind Audiofeed, and just some of the speakers that they have, and I feel like it's a very open-minded music festival, which is it's just really refreshing. I think it's very of a lot of the festivals out there, I think it's probably the most welcoming and open to people and outsiders, and even people that aren't Christians. I feel like it's very welcoming for people to come in and listen to some good music and hopefully have their minds expanded.
Yeah.
It seems like that's kind of what Audiofeed cultivates, is that spirit here.
Right, yeah. Evening came around and it was time to see one of the performances I was most excited to see, Randy Stonehill. See, I'd grown up with my parents playing a lot of the best Christian music from the 70s and such, so it was really cool to get to see someone who played such a big part in that era of Christian music and was still making great music today. There was a special moment where he had his wife come up, and they both sang Your Love Broke Through, which is a very special song that was co-written by Keith Green and means a great deal to me.
Like a foolish dream of treasure, down the highway to the sky. All my hopes would come tumbling down. I never knew just why, until today, when you pulled away the clouds, hung like curtains on my eyes. I've been blind all the wasted years. I thought I was so wise.
It was a very special show that he gave, and I'm glad I was able to catch it. Randy Stonehill was great. He was a lot of fun. He took a lot of time to tune his guitar, but it was funny, you know. And I wanted to meet with him. I wanted to have an interview. I never was able to get a hold of him beforehand, and I thought, well, maybe I can ask him after his set. Because he had a merch table set up that he was sitting at. And so I'm like, okay, and I get all my stuff, and it's dark out, you know, right now it is dark, and it was dark then. You know, I wanted to set everything up, make sure that it was ready for him so I can be like, hey, I know this is a long shot, but, you know, could you spare at most 10 minutes for a few quick questions? It would be an honor. The thing is that when I was setting things up, my light fixture that I have, that I use all the time, didn't want to come on. It's not working for some reason. So I was like, well, it's going to be kind of pointless to try to do an interview because without any good lighting, it's just not gonna look good. So I aborted that mission, and I thought, you know, I can go say hey. And when I went back over there, he was, you know, crowded by tons of people that wanted to see him, and they had actual things for him to autograph, and I'm like, I don't really have anything for him to sign or anything, and I kind of feel weird being the guy, just be like, hey, I'm a big fan, you know. So I think I got a little shy, you know, which is weird, but I've been that way before with artists that I appreciate. When I finally meet him, I get a little giddy. So I just kind of abandoned the whole mission. It's like, you know what, I got to see him, and that's actually pretty cool to see Randy Stonehill, like one of the legends from like early Christian music. So that was fun. Fun first day. I've already made some new friends, and that's been really cool. So excited for the first official day of Audiofeed. We'll see how that goes. The next day I knew was going to be a lot busier. I spent most of the day walking around and catching different sets. I actually took some time to visit some of the vendors and talk with them while grabbing some merchandise for myself. They actually got this like really awesome shop where they sell like media, music, movies. They got a really great vinyl selection. I found a few here that I wanted to show off here. Stuff that I normally don't find in like regular record stores. But we got Steve Taylor, I Want to Be a Clone, classic. I hardly ever find Steve Taylor albums in the stores. And of course, we got a Genesis album, which I was surprised. I kind of figured that it would all be Christian music, you know, Jesus music, but they got a good Genesis collection, and this was the one that I didn't have. So, and then we got, I don't want this bag to fly away, classic album. This one was the most expensive, but we got Larry Norman, Upon This Rock. I always thought it was the most awkward album cover, but you know, it's good music. So, but I guess that's Jesus music for you. Awkward album covers, but great music. What was your name and the name of your business?
Anyway, my name is Nathan Schwalm, and I run a business. Well, it's like an antique booth I have in Savoy, Illinois. I have a booth there at booth number 77. This is like a rock shop thing. It's a prototype of a business to come.
Okay.
Selling stuff here at the festival, Audiofeed. Also, I will be selling at Gordyville Flea Market too.
Okay.
So for now, it's just kind of a low-key DIY thing, and eventually it'll be blossoming something more than just that.
Yeah.
Been collecting for ages and ages since I was literally about this shade tall. Been rocking out to music.
Nice. Yeah, I see you sell a lot of music here.
Yeah,
So
I buy too much stuff, so I might as well sell it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So you basically just like collect a lot of stuff and decided to make a business out of it.
Yeah, at some point it'll be a full-time thing. Right now, it's just for fun.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. And what was the name again?
My name or the business?
The business name.
The future business will be Rock Shop.
I also got the chance to do some more awesome interviews that day. I'm here with Benjamin Daniel. I'm here, Audiofeed, with the members of Revisionist. And what were you guys' names again?
Josh.
Josh?
I'm also Josh.
You're all Josh.
Yep, I'm Josh Barbie, and this is Josh Peavy.
Hi, everyone. I'm here with Jordan from Threnodian.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. Overall, it was a fun day. I actually also ended up getting an impromptu, unplanned haircut during my downtime. It was Jordan, right?
Yeah, Jordan from Gaffer Project.
Awesome. This will probably be a part of my video. I'm doing a video for my YouTube channel about Audiofeed.
What's your YouTube channel called?
I'm Clifford today.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
What are you tomorrow?
Clifford, just always Clifford.
It's always today somewhere, right?
Never changes. It's like I'm the Clifford today. So what do you think, guys? Not bad. Gotta look good for the camera. So thanks to Jordan. A big question I had on my mind before coming was concerning all the different artists the festival had allowed to play on their stages. There were many who were very obviously Christian, yet there were many other artists who very much were not Christian. Was this not a Christian festival, or was it not? Would you say that Audiofeed is a Christian festival, so to speak?
I mean, I think it's labeled as a Christian festival. I think that's what they say it is. I don't know. I would assume so because of how many artists are Christian. I think it is, but
yeah.
I guess it is whatever it wants to be or says. I mean, yeah, I guess, yes. I'm overcomplicating it.
No, I know it's a complicated question. I guess when I think of Christian festival, I think of something like Creation Festival, or I guess it's not a festival, but like Winter Jam and such, and like very like particularly and exclusively Christian artists and such.
I'd have to say it's more like a family-oriented music festival. There are, a lot of predominantly Christian bands, but it's open to everybody. So it's a a very welcoming environment, which that just shows the heart of the festival and the community. Yeah.
So would you say that's kind of like the goal behind the festival, is to just be inclusive to everyone, pretty much?
Yeah, open door. Yeah, for sure.
It is definitely Christian influenced by a lot. If I were to say is entirely, I'd say so.
Okay.
Because like it's just not Christians that attracts music. I mean, like this gives us an example to be an example to everybody's welcome at the table, no matter where you are, what you do, where you're from.
Right.
Is that like this is the place where we break down our barriers for shared love of music and show how our neighbors as themselves. And that was like one of their top mottos as well.
I know there's a mixture of bands, some bands that are firmly, maybe even mostly bands that are firmly within Christianity, but I know there's other bands that aren't or don't consider themselves to be. So as far as the festival goes, that would be maybe more of a question for people who run it. What I've seen, I mean, I've been fellowshipping with a lot of brothers and sisters in the Lord. Right. I've been blessed by that. But also hoping to just talk to more people too, regardless of background. So I don't know. I don't know.
Like, would you guys label Audiofeed as a Christian festival, so to speak?
From what I've seen, I think I would.
Yeah.
I think being here, yes. But right off the bat, like just hearing about Audiofeed and then like some of the things that like I ran into online finding Audiofeed, that wasn't the first thing that came off to us.
Right.
So we actually had to go back and look at it and be like, oh, this is actually a faith-based festival. So
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they
It
don't
wasn't
really...
the first thing that stood out to us, but being here, we see why.
Yeah, not online.
Yeah, they don't really wear it.
When I read the lineup, I was like, well, there's certainly a catering.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
A helping, a serving of Christian artists.
So, with that being said, would you say that Audiofeed is a Christian festival?
I don't know what that really means, you know?
Okay.
So to me, it's like, it is in the sense that, in a good way, in the sense that it feels very welcoming of everybody.
Yeah.
And so it feels Jesus-like in that, right?
Jesus-like.
What I know of him as a person in the Bible and what he seemed to be about, the energy of this seems to be reminiscent of that.
Right,
energy.
yeah.
So I would say in that way it does feel Christian.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel exclusive, and it doesn't thus far feel like preachy or I don't know. It could be a negative thing, and in this case I think it's a positive thing.
Would you be comfortable labeling Audiofeed a Christian festival, however you want to interpret it?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say it is a Christian festival. But kind of like I said, it's not like they're standing at the doors saying, "Hey, are you checking people in? Like, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
No, get out." It's like like I think the overall message, most of the bands, are Christian, and just kind of, some of the bands will kind of give a message during their set, others not so much. But I think just the overall, like, it's a Christian festival in the sense that we're just surrounded by the Holy Spirit, and like there's a lot of seminars and workshops that are Christian based where you can really get some good conversation going. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely say Audiofeed is a Christian festival.
I talked about that a little bit earlier. I think that in the past, I think they are centered around that. However, I know they've brought bands in that are some Christian, some not, some where they just like there's a positive message. I think that's because they want to bring in people. They just want to love on people.
Right.
So you don't have to be one thing to come in and play. They just want you to like respect the community, which is cool. So I don't know that I would consider it a Christian festival. I think it's just some like really nice people that happen to be Christians that are just doing something for their community.
Right.
I don't know. Like I guess how I would describe it.
Okay.
It's just super inviting. Like it feels like any other festival. So.
Cool. That sounds. Yeah. I'm basically I'm wanting to know, like, from the artists, like how their feelings are about it and such.
I don't think it feels like a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Weighed one way or the other. I think you just come and everyone wants to just hang out.
Yeah.
all in this fresh air and set up tents and all that. So I think it's just like everyone wants to have fun and hang out. So I don't think it's really one way or the other, but
Would you label Audiofeed as a Christian festival? You can interpret that however you want.
I would say yes. I would say loosely yes. Because there's like literally someone giving a sermon in the tent behind me right now, and I don't think they're having any Buddhist monks show up at any point that I'm aware of to do anything like that.
Wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe in a couple years.
Yeah.
I don't put it past the guys and girls who like run this, because they're really, really open, great people, and I know them personally. But as for now, I would say that it is predominantly like, if I go strike up a conversation with a random person here, they've at least come from a Christian background most of the time.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I would say that's the overarching experience. It's sort of the undercurrent there.
Right. So
Yeah.
loosely Christian.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
loosely Christian.
Hey, that's a good term.
Yeah, diet Christian.
Diet Christian.
Yeah.
Not as good as the real thing, but
No. Maybe better for you though. I don't know.
I think like growing up, Cornerstone, turning to Audiofeed and stuff. Like, I think I thought that for a while.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got to the point where I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I know that's not a Christian artist. And then in my mind, I'm like, and I know what they're about, and like they're positive, and like they're trying to push, just kind of like kindness and inclusivity, like just as far as like no one's out here to start fights, essentially. I think even yes, having a bunch of like devout Christians and having like that kind of rooted aspect of it, I think it's cool to have an option of being welcoming, whether you're Christian or not. 'Cause if we're all just Christians in a bubble, like we're not doing anything. So
just kind of preaching to the choir, basically.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, I think obviously, even as I'm speaking right now, I can hear a speaker that seems to be a Christian speaker. So I would say yes, it is a Christian music festival in my eyes, and I think that's a good thing. I also think it's a good thing that in the fact that it's a community festival, you see people, you see acts play that aren't necessarily Christian acts or whatever. It's kind of like when you go to the YMCA, for instance, right? One place I love going is the YMCA. That's my gym. I love the YMCA because there's an indoor pool there. But the YMCA is a very Christian organization. There are Christian overtones everywhere in it, but not everyone that works out at the YMCA is a Christian. It's open for everybody, and I think that that's kind of the beauty of like doing a Christian service to the community. Is it's not like a service to more Christians or the stereotype of you can work out here, but you've got to sign a waiver that you're a Christian. There's none of that. It's just, hey, come swim in our pool, come lift these weights, come give us your money, which is beautiful. You know? So I would say in that regard, obviously I think Audiofeed is a very Christian music festival, but there's something for everybody here.
I think that depends on who you as the person. To me, it's a Christian festival because I love God and I see God in everything. I go to a Marilyn Manson festival and call it Christian because I get to do that.
Right.
It's my experience, So, there is that aspect, but people are in different areas of their walk, all the way from completely unfaithful to completely, faithful. I don't think it's really, it doesn't bother me.
Right.
I believe that where I walk, I'm practicing my faith, so, I can only hope that everybody else kind of does that too. So, I heard this year there were some things going on behind the scenes. I don't like to get into all that. Some bands not happy with, some of that non or pro-Christian messaging, and, okay,
Okay. You can have your opinion.
Yeah, I want to come and just still have fun, you know. And I don't have to have it be I'm not going to just go to a Christian titled event. I'll go to any event because I'm okay and I'm secure in my faith, and I can only hope, you know, people come and do that.
Yeah.
You know, people got to understand that, like, you know, festivals might be struggling, so they might have to brand a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come and represent Jesus, so
that's great.
That's what I'm gonna do. So.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah.
You know?
I was under the impression that it was. So,
Yeah.
I was always.
Think it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think they're
Go ahead.
catering to something positive, right?
Yeah. I was just gonna say I think it's awesome because it kind of opens up doors for the church, or at least for people who are in ministry, to be an example to non-Christian bands as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome.
I think it's really cool that there are like some that are noticeably Christian bands and some that really are not, and I think that's cool that we're able to, you know, come together and still, you know, have that. I think that was what were you gonna say though?
Yes, I think one of the coolest things, you know, because when we just, you know, heard that we were going to play over here, you know, we looked it up, we kind of looked into everything, and
bands,
and so I think one of the things was kind of like, I don't know if it was the mission statement or not, but it's just positivity, positive music, wherever you're from or whatever you do or believe in, and but I do think that it's spirit led, you know. We're Christian. I think that was a big reason why we really wanted to come out here. It was a long drive to get out here.
You guys probably had the longest drive out of anyone.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure Propaganda flew. He probably took a plane. So
he did. I just asked him, and he flew.
Yeah, so I think we probably did. But yeah, I would say yes.
Would you ever put the Audiofeed Festival as like a Christian festival?
Yes and no. I mean, just like that build up. I think everybody here, generally speaking, has ties to the Christian music or Christian faith. This is kind of an underground, edgy thing. So, I mean, there's not really Christian scenes for half of this music that's here.
Yeah.
And therefore, there's not really like, it's not like, faith is a common factor in a lot of these discussions. But yeah, people are like, I think people are all over the place. I mean, but that was probably a starting point for like 90% of the people here.
Yeah.
Is that they would have been like, hey, we are Christian musicians or we're in the Christian music scene.
Right.
And I mean, but if you're like a goth band or a weirdo folk band, I mean, there's like not, you're in the regular world if you exist.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of not necessarily any big label.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be the case with a lot of people I've talked to.
It's a pretty like consistent like. I mean, Cornerstone was like the edgiest, undergroundest music scene like in the Christian world.
Yeah.
Like there might have been others, but that was like the big pinnacle. So bands would play Cornerstone that wouldn't play like churches, for instance.
Right.
And the same thing is true here. I mean, there's a lot of bands that churches wouldn't book or wouldn't know what to do with, and I think they find a home here, which is super encouraging to have like a tent full of people supporting your band, where you're like that's hard to find sometimes. So there's a special feeling here with that.
Most of the bands we've seen were Christian, so you know the ones that aren't, I don't really know who they are, but I think the upside to doing a festival that is mixed like that is there's more opportunity to witness to people. You know, it's something we like to do at our shows. We have been on the go though a bit, but you know, maybe someone will be here and will hear what a band is saying or hear their message and take an interest and maybe have a change of heart about, you know, Christ or something.
Yeah.
So there's that upside, because otherwise, you know, when you have just a Christian festival, which most of the time that's really what I just prefer.
Yeah.
But you know, you already got a lot of Christian people there, so hopefully they'll bring someone who's not saved. But you know, it kind of opens up the door for that conversation to possibly happen. So,
right. Yeah.
That is one of the things. So I mean, would I say it's a Christian festival? I mean, well, you could technically say it is, but you know, it's accepting of people that aren't. You know, I mean, if a band comes here though and they hate Christians, well, I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, right? They're gonna need to be tolerant of us too. So
yeah,
it works out though.
It's a big blend.
Yeah.
But it is a good opportunity for people who wouldn't normally hear like our music or
Right.
someone else, some of the smaller bands. It's a good opportunity for us to expand.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people heard us for the first time on Thursday night, so
Right.
it's good exposure for smaller bands that get to play here and everything.
Well, in some ways, it's nice that it has some kind of distinction like that, because it does attract certain people to that, I think, which is nice.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think that it's, it is very open to people who aren't like Christian in the traditional sense, but it's people that are like exploring and seeking. So I don't know if it turns those kind of people off from coming or not, if it has like Christian explicitly in the name. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But hopefully Audiofeed has enough of a reputation that people are like, oh, well, this is a concert that, with a central message of Jesus, like it says on their website.
Right.
But like on their website, it says, we welcome all people in here.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's communicated beyond just the, hey, we're a Christian music themed festival, and which means it's going to look like this festival over here.
Yeah.
Hopefully people can see over that and see through it and understand that this is different.
Right, yeah.
But it may actually help attract more people because parents may feel safer bringing their kids to a festival like this.
Yeah.
Knowing that the music is age appropriate for all ages.
Yeah.
There's no swearing, there's no negative messages.
There's no cuss words in the brutal deathcore that we were listening to.
Right.
Yeah, right. So
except for Pedro the Lion, he let a few let out.
Oh, okay.
but-
Realistically,
We let it
the
slide
brutal
for
deathcore
Pedro.
that we were listening to. How do you know?
That's true.
It's like the Cookie Monster running through a garbage disposal.
I mean, he's dead on.
That's the trick. Is that
No, they were
you may
great.
have profanity, but no one will ever know.
They were really entertaining, but
It's like, I really like the message of that song.
yeah.
I felt the emotion of it.
It makes me hungry.
Yeah.
We want
cookies.
We want cookies now. Thank you very much.
We want cookie now.
You should write that song. You should release it.
We will. We're not above making music like that. I mean, we're a nautical themed rock band, so
Yeah.
we try to get piratey. It's like
Dude,
Cookie
yeah.
Monster, pirates. It's all in the same ship.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with all that being said about... One of the highlights that day was getting to see Dan Smith's solo set. I've been a listener fan for a while, so it was cool to see him perform some new material. He has such a way with words and can say so much in just one piece of work with true honesty. He's been quite an inspiration to me over the years. In fact, the next day I was able to catch his writing workshop that he held, and I was able to learn a lot from him, and I'm very grateful for having attended that. Saturday was yet another busy yet fun day. I was able to talk to a lot more cool people. I'm with Caleb from Must Build Jacuzzi.
They have bigger bugs in Illinois than I anticipated.
All right, I'm with the members of Angel Machine.
Is your head in there?
Shouldn't be right now. I'm here with the members of Doulos, and I was able to see a lot more cool performances from artists that I had not heard before. But alongside that were quite a few artists that a lot of people, including myself, were very excited to see. One of them was Propaganda, a hip-hop artist that I had seen before and whose artistic integrity I had always admired over most others in the Christian hip-hop industry. He put on a pretty fun show and had some fun banter in between songs. One, of course, that I was especially excited to see was Listener. They've always been a band that you can't really compare anyone else to and have always stood on their own. They put on a fantastic show, and it meant a lot to hear them play songs that have meant a lot to me over the years. I'd say the big one for a lot of people that night, however, was Pedro the Lion. David Bazan's music has always had a big following for both those in the Christian and secular communities, so it was no surprise the big turnout they had for their set. I've never really followed their music a whole lot, but there are a few songs of theirs that I do enjoy, and they sounded great live. With that being said, this is a bit more of a personal question for you guys. Would you guys consider yourselves Christian?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I do. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
For
so
sure.
100% all the whole band. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I do. I am. I believe. So I know that that's a very broad spectrum these days of what that means, particularly. But yeah.
So you already answered my next question. I was going to ask whether you would consider yourself a Christian, but to you,
I consider myself the worst case scenario, probably poorest example, but I'm trying my darndest.
Aren't we all?
I'm trying my darndest.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's in our name. Our name means bondservant of Christ.
Oh, great.
So in Greek, so yeah, it's kind
People
of.
think it means like it's like a gang thing, like.
And you know what? We're cool with
Gangs
that.
for Jesus.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I'd just phrase it. I'm just a Christ follower. Believe Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and life. And no matter what denomination or wherever you fall in, personal belief is that all of us, we've all got it wrong somewhere down the line, but we can all agree that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and that's good.
Cool. Would you consider yourself a Christian?
Yeah, I do. For me, it's been a lifelong thing. Definitely ups and downs and all the struggles and stuff.
Right.
But where I'm at right now, that's where I'm at. And so it's kind of just like faith looks a lot different than it used to, but it's still part of me. So
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a Christian since I was 5, and my understanding of my faith has just grown over time, and such a big question. It's funny how it's kind of like when, it's hard to describe how exactly the Lord has continued to work in my life, but Jesus has always been at the center.
Yeah.
And it's taken different shapes. It's looked differently as I've grown in certain respects, and in the same in a lot of respects. But yeah, that's definitely the core part of who I am by the grace of God.
Yeah. You've already basically answered the question, but you would consider yourself a Christian.
Yeah. Yep. I would. I've been a Christian ever since I grew up. Like I definitely grew up in my whole family, my mom, dad, siblings, all grew up in Christian families. But I mean, I've definitely changed on some of the kind of views that I've had over the years. Because like, I think, a lot of, the word, I'd say like the Christian buzzword nowadays is like deconstructing. Everybody's like wanting to kind of deconstruct their faith. Some people end up walking away from the faith after that.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, it's kind of just looking at what were you taught growing up versus where am I at now, and just really trying to have conversations with other just other people, not even just like-minded, just I want to hear like other sides of all issues. There's like, and that's kind of why I feel Audiofeed so cool, because there's no like political ties to it. Because I feel like what's kind of unfortunate about church, I mean the whole world right now, but like it almost seems like in the church now there's like a divide within the church on just certain issues in the political spectrum.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to, as a Christian now, I'm kind of thinking, what are the things that I still hold on to, and what are the things that maybe I don't believe in that exact same subject the way that I did when I was brought up. So it's just kind of really questioning certain aspects of Christianity, and I think questioning is a good thing. Like I think we should always question our faith, and really because I think after you do that, you can come out feeling stronger than you were before.
Yeah.
Just once you have, because I've always wanted just to have, and I'm still not 100% there yet, but just like an answer to when people ask you why do you believe what you believe?
Yeah.
I I just kind of wish I had read the Bible. Like I've just seen the things like that God's made in this world. Like I don't think that everything was just by chance. I think that just how beautiful our planet is and how complex we are as human beings. I think there is a creator behind that. Like I don't think that we just kind of appeared, out of nothing. So like that's kind of reason enough to that I think there is a creator, and I think I want to worship him. I want to give him all the glory.
Well, it's kind of hard. I mean, it's like it's weird because no one has the same definition of Christian.
Right.
So how can we fit, something that is such a diverse label, especially when you're talking about a rock band?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's a good point.
Like you can't say that a rock band is Christian, especially Christian means a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Right.
So I mean, it's a tough one.
Well, and I think you're touching on an interesting point there. When you talk about, are you guys a Christian band? Are we talking about religious, that in the religious sense or in the industry sense? Because you are really talking about two different things there.
Right.
That's a good point. I can say that you don't have to be a Christian to play in a Christian band.
Right.
And you don't have to be a Christian band if you're full of Christians.
Also a good point.
Yeah.
Our band has non-Christians in it.
Yeah.
But we work into that aspect of that niche, that music, and our band does have Christians in it. But it's very much about carving out our own space within that greater, broader world, that greater, broader context.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm a devout Christian, so I write lyrics that are naturally from my worldview. Yeah. And just like any artist out there, I'm going to express myself about the things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian. It's one of the things I'm most passionate about. Therefore, I'm going to make art that is about the thing I'm most passionate about.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does that make us a Christian band? I don't know. If you paint a picture inspired by Jesus, if it doesn't have Jesus in it, is it a Christian painting? You have to put the Thomas Kincaid fish for it to be
That makes it Christian.
It's a really kind of hazy, convoluted thing.
Yeah.
So
Not to mention, I think something that's interesting to bring up when we talk about Christian music and Christian bands. I was reading an article today about an incredibly high-profile Christian artist that has had some very serious allegations corroborated. They look like they're true, and who's to say?
And then they live their life a different way.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, which is more important, the label or what you actually bring to the table?
That's a very good point right there. So if we're doing our jobs right, I always say we're trying to help people. We're trying to help mankind. Because there's so much negative music out there, I feel like it's our calling to try to combat the negative music with positive music.
Right. Yeah.
So, and like I said, most of us in this group, and like Dave was saying, some groups have Christians, some don't. Whether it's secular rock or regular rock or non-secular rock, if you just write good music and good lyrical messages in there, I don't want anybody to really get pigeonholed into a certain segment kind of thing.
Yeah.
The industry does that. We'll let them try to pigeonhole people.
You just do your thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope we get pigeoned as those weird guys over there.
Those weird guys may or may not be Christian. Who knows? I know in the past people have always been like hard on like, well, are you guys Christian or not, or like you got to be one way or the other. But this is honestly just an honest question. You can answer however you feel comfortable. But would you guys consider yourselves Christians?
Me personally, no. I grew up in the church, but currently don't consider myself one.
Okay. What would your sorry, you gonna go ahead?
No, you go ahead. You can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what would you say your personal belief or faith is right now in your life?
That's still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a really interesting life out. It's a really interesting thing to think about with all that. Growing up in a super conservative Christian home, it's tough to like want to agree with a lot of that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, just a bunch of searching and seeing kind of.
I get it.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Seeing kind of what comes out the other side.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. What would you say for you personally?
So I think that's such a more dynamic of a question than anybody ever really gives it credit.
Right.
I also grew up in church, and I think that so that's how I learned to play music. I think is the same for you. Like I played bass in my youth group, and I developed a really strong belief system that I would say, the Bible talks about like if you believe in your heart, you'd be saved. And so
right.
I'd say I definitely like fall into that category, and I think over the years it wrestled with some of our like what we have as church today. And so probably like the typical definition of what people would think is Western Christianity. It's like, I don't have a church that's a home, and I don't, but like an environment like this, it's like, I just want to come love on people, you know? So like my faith is, I would say that I would consider myself a Christian, to make it simple, but like it's such a dynamic.
Yeah, right.
And like we're all on our own path that like, God deals with us all, how He sees fit. Actually, somebody talked to me about something the other day that even in the Bible, when God healed people, Jesus healed people, He never healed two people the same way.
Right.
And so, why would we expect that any one relationship would be the same, or any? It's like the road that everybody else takes. It's
right.
Like sometimes it's different for everybody. So, I would say that if I had to say yes or no, I would say yes. But I'd still figure it out. So,
I don't think as a group we would label anything.
Okay.
Individually, we do have our own ideas or ideologies and outlooks.
So different mixture of stuff.
Yeah, I think I would be the first to come say that like I don't attend church and I don't actively say that I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I was definitely raised Christian. I kind of fell off the wagon somewhere. We started off playing at church. Like I met Tito, what was it, 10 years ago? About 10 years ago, and before we knew each other's names, we were just playing together for a little while, and then we had that connection. So we grew music. The seed was planted at a church, but now I would say that it's I wouldn't really label it as Christian, but we can cater to Christian events. Because the lyrics are about hope and about real life experiences, and that's kind of the whole point, is that Christians are just people, right. They're not above anybody else.
Right.
We mess up all the time too, and I feel like a lot of people are turned off if you label something as Christian. They're automatically like, no, I don't listen to Christian music. Whereas we can play these types of festivals. We can also play like regular festivals, or like restaurants, bar scenes, private events, things like that.
Yeah.
And it can all fall under the same umbrella of like, these are just guys singing about hope.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so like I like that it's flexible and fluid like that.
Yeah.
And people are more open to listen to it, and they don't come with that pre-bias of like, I don't want to deal with anything that's Christian.
Right.
So in a way, like, it works out really well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. I just want to clarify, I'm not coming off with any like agenda. I've talked to lots of different artists here already that have, a wide mixture of beliefs around here.
For sure.
So I just have my own questions about the festival, and I'm just looking for honest answers. So
Curiosity is good.
Right, yeah. So where would you guys say that you're at now in terms of belief? Like any?
I think within the band, we have our own spectrum of where we stand with beliefs. Like if someone were to meet me, I would still like consider myself a Christian, and I'm open to talking about faith and things.
Yeah.
I'm not like a regular attendee at church or anything, but I still pray, I read, I would still consider myself in that realm of things.
Right.
More than not, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think within the band we're the full spectrum the Audiofeed is.
Yeah. Yeah. Just all in one band. Like, this is Audiofeed right here. Cool.
That's pretty close, yeah.
So, speaking of you, this is a more personal question. Would you consider yourself a Christian?
I do not
Okay.
identify with any labels, really.
Gotcha.
And I won't
Hipster.
speak for the band, you know. We all have completely different views.
Yeah.
I would say I'm something of a agnostic, almost nature worshiper.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
our music is all about like nature as God. in a
Interesting.
sense, to an extent.
So you try to kind of show that in your lyricism.
I would say so, yeah. Yeah, and then the overall energy of it. I think it's not that like this tree is Christ, but that God is in everything.
Gotcha.
That's how I feel about it.
Would you consider yourself a Christian?
No, not anymore. I don't know why I'm very confident in saying no.
No, that's
but
fine. You're not the first one that I've interviewed.
Yeah. I didn't think I would be. No, I don't anymore. I still have beliefs. I still think Jesus as a metaphor and some scripture as a metaphor, when interpreted in a loving way, can be really beautiful and poetic and meaningful. But at this point, I grew up in church. I was a worship leader for a really long time. That's how I started in music.
Yeah.
And now, and I will say that like the church environments that I grew up in my most formative years were very, very toxic. And I know not everybody has that experience, but for me, in order to like fully heal and not be in like limbo and constantly being triggered and like really, really find who I was, I had to like fully step away from it. And I also just honestly never subscribed fully to the fundamental beliefs that make you a Christian. I was always trying to make it work in my head. And so it was really healthy for me to not always be like doing mental gymnastics and like to really sort of like not try to fit myself into a specific package that seemed like mandatory for that environment. So.
Right.
And it was a progressive thing. I've been in churches that were wonderful and full of like really loving people who are still some of my best friends. Though I would say the majority of them have since left. But yeah, I definitely don't consider myself under the Christian umbrella anymore. And
I get it.
you know, things have been fine.
Yeah. Where would you say that you're at now? Would you say that you're anywhere in terms of a particular belief or anything?
I don't think I could really categorize it. I think I have some things that I just sort of inherently subscribe to that probably fall under like a little bit of a Buddhist umbrella, but I don't consider myself that at all. Like,
gotcha.
I just believe in allowing myself to learn and evolve and change my mind, and I still hope, despite everything going on in the world right now, that in the end, like, purpose and goodness and meaning like wins out. I'm not a nihilist yet.
Good.
But
it's not a very happy life to live.
I don't know. Maybe it's freeing, but I think for now I'm just sort of like wanting to like take it moment by moment, accept who I am, be kind, and accept that I'm like gonna change and grow and be a person with people and not have it all be like a policy that I have in theory up here and actually live it out. Like actually live my life.
Gotcha.
So that's a ramble, but you get it.
No, thank you for being open and honest.
You're
about
welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Sunday, the last day, was an especially busy day for me. I had to get through the most interviews in one day than I had had any other day.
All right, so I'm here with Jeremiah Dirk here at Audiofeed Festival. We're here with Nathan of Spoken Word here at Audiofeed Festival. I'm here with Max Simmons here at Audiofeed Festival. Right here with Christiana Benton here at Audiofeed. I'm here with the members of Light Shore. Is it plural or singular? Light Shores?
Light Shore, yeah.
Okay, cool. Light Shore. I should know my information.
All right, we'll be good now. I'm sorry. We'll prattle on for like 20 minutes over nonsense. So you go ahead.
It's all good. Yeah. Well, I'm here with the members of Rusty Ship.
There were still great conversations. However, because the day was so hectic, there were some interviews that were not able to happen because, Either I or the artist had overbooked themselves or whatever. So, sorry to anyone I was not able to talk to. On top of all the craziness, I was excited to see another one of my favorites, Levi the Poet. I believe that Levi is really the best out of anyone in the spoken word genre. His album Correspondence is honestly one of my all-time favorites in general, and it was great to see him perform again. And to end the whole day was the big one, Flatfoot 56. I can't say that I have listened to a lot of their music myself, but I had been told that their set was not a set that I wanted to miss out on. Aside from getting some purple dye sprayed on my arms, their live performance was a sight to behold. This was going to be the last of their legendary themed shows, and this year their theme was Greco-Roman style. So the members of the band and many of their fans came dressed in those white robes and leaflet crown thingies. It was a lot of fun to see, and I loved watching everyone moshing, circle pitting, and whatnot, and there was a lot of that. And with that, the first audio feed in 3 years ended with quite the bang. I went home that night thankful for the experience I had and thankful for the friends I had made.
When I was a young man, I carried my pack, and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, 'cause there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun, and they sent me away to the war. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as we sailed away from the quay. And amidst all the tears and the shouts and the cheers, we sailed off for Gallipoli.
What does being a Christian mean to you personally?
Well, being a Christian, you know, there's a couple different aspects. I think a lot of folks are culturally Christian, so they grow up Christian and they remain in that because that's what they know. And it's hard to say, you know, who is and who does and who doesn't fall into that category. I'm not. I mean, I grew up in a Christian home, so I can't say that I don't fall into that category. But I think it's also a matter of just faith. I mean, I don't think that I'm a person who defines like what it is, but what it means to me is, you know, believing in God and in a higher power, and basically keeping yourself in check with that and kind of having an accountability. Really, yeah. That's a big part of it to me, is like, you know, it's not all just about me.
Yeah.
It means to follow Jesus, you know, and whatever that entails, whatever that costs. Yeah. It also means that, you know, we're indwelt by the Spirit. Yeah. That God is not just around us, but He's also in us as we come to Him, and then the specifics of doctrine of how He draws us and all that stuff is a deeper conversation that you know we don't have to get into on an interview, but yeah, I'm for me, what it means to be a Christian, what it means to be a follower of Jesus, is I'm just thankful that I'm His, and I'm always blown away, and God help my unbelief. I wrestle with it. I wrestled with it this morning.
Oh yeah.
But praise the Lord, you know. So
vaguely, broadly speaking, I guess, you know, sort of the belief that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, sent to save us for our sins, and you accept Him in your heart, and you're a Christian. I guess you pray that prayer or whatever. loosely, roughly try and do right, follow the teachings of Jesus. But whether or not someone is or isn't, I think that to me that's all based. I don't look at anybody and go like they're not, or they did this, or they did that, or they said this, or they believe that, or
Right.
I think it's a very deeply personal thing. So if someone says they are, or they believe this or that, I try not to think too much about what it means for other people, but for me and what I believe, I believe I am and believe in Jesus. There's lots of reasons for that. They're probably very long-winded.
Yeah.
But so for me, that's sort of what I believe and how I kind of roll with it.
That we're never gonna get anything right. There's a quote from a nun that says, God's will for our lives is to be holy is God's will. That's the ultimate thing. And that doesn't mean we're gonna get it right. And that our motivation should be that our hearts should be softened every day. We're softer every day. It's like Gaffer Project song Heart and Heart, just like Peyton talked about things that will keep them stubborn. That will keep them stubborn. Instead of just where it had to be humble. Just be human. Yeah. How to look after one another. That's what I'm pretty much saying the same thing in different ways from these questions. It's overall, do you give a damn about other people, no matter what we are? And if we're still struggling with that, that's okay. Because we still got time.
Yeah.
We still.
Yeah. Cool. Is that all?
But yeah.
Cool.
I mean, you have to be saved first. So, the Bible says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. You need to put your trust in Jesus Christ as your Savior. And, He died on the cross for all man's sins and resurrected on the third day. You need to believe that first. You have to put your faith in Him first, and He has to save you. So, but becoming like a Christian, I mean, you live that out in, you start going to church, you read the Bible, you learn doctrine, you need, it renews your mind. I mean, so to me, somebody who really has the Holy Spirit, who is saved is a Christian. Yeah. So I wouldn't say one saved person is a Christian, one saved person isn't. I mean,
right.
They're a Christian. So that's pretty much what I would say. So, and it's acknowledging that Jesus has saved you and given you the gift of eternal life. Mm-hmm. So if somebody says they're not sure they're going to heaven, you know what I mean, then they probably didn't understand the gospel. Yeah. Because it's once you believe on Christ, you're saved and you have eternal life. You're sealed with the Holy Spirit. So that's what it means to us. So that's what we preach to people.
Anyone who's truly saved, which is by grace through faith in Jesus Christ, is a Christian.
Yeah.
Walking out your Christian faith is important, but being saved, having that salvation and eternal life is what defines you as a Christian. So.
Right.
I mean, in a way, I kind of answered that too. I mean, you gotta apprehend your faith.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of faith-saying people nowadays, but it's they're not reading their scripture. They're not, they don't live a prayerful life. We serve a God who's very active, and if you don't get in on that action, he keeps going. He's not going to necessarily stop, just because so-and-so over here. That's what I love about God. He's always ready to turn around and say, let's go there,
right.
But if you're being disobedient, you're not practicing your faith, you're going to see it in your life. And usually the people that I know in my life that say, nothing's going on in my life, it's kind of ho-hum, you start asking those questions and, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. So
yeah.
You start apprehending your faith. So that's my favorite thing, is that I don't serve dead God. I don't serve, dead or backwards or go back to zero. I serve, let's go forward. And respectful God that says, "You're doing this or not," you know.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part.
Awesome.
Get in on the work, you know.
Okay.
Just
Great.
like you doing these interviews.
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point you felt led to do this, and you had to decide, do I do this or not?
Yeah.
You had to decide to buy a camera and some mics, you know. It's like we have to decide to act in on our faith, whether it's in the physical, spiritual, mental, you know. So I appreciate my faith and I like practicing it. So
Yeah, sure. That's great.
I was thinking about this earlier because I was like, it's not what it used to be. I think I see and I recognize God moving sometimes. I think that, like, whether that's oftentimes personal or just in my, like, periphery.
Yeah.
I see too much to be able to, like, doesn't have another plausible explanation.
Right.
And then how I see that. So I mean, for me, faith practice is a personal, like, experience and relationship with Jesus or God. But it's, I mean, I'm not these conversations are always a little awkward because I'm not like I'm a really public person. So I thought a lot of my stuff is public. But my last record was about, like, spiritual abuse and struggle. So, like, like that was, like, a big part of, like, me getting, like, realizing how much I'd been wounded and how complicated, messed up systems and people are. But when it's all come down and shaken out, like, I think, like okay, I'm still seeing God move, and I'm still seeing that, like, that draw that feels like it connects to who I am and how I live my life day to day.
Yeah.
So that's what Christianity, like, it's like, okay, there's Jesus, and I don't really know very much of the rest of it that makes any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, you could pick any theology you want, and I can probably think, oh, that's really cool, kind of. Yeah, and so I'll leave that to the people that really care about theology, and I'm just like, okay, this is where I'm at. Is following Jesus seems to make sense to me. I think a lot of the qualities that people like, at least for me, the things they like, I'm like, oh, that's actually, like, something God did or something Christianity, like, soaked into me. So
I personally, kind of throughout my life, have gotten to this overcomplication of, like, Christianity, and I've really come to appreciate the simplicity that Jesus, brings. And the simple gospel of just grace sufficient. And, like, as a Christian, just, I feel like there's times where I'm like, man, I'm having a tough time getting through life.
Yeah.
How do people do it without God? You know, but just to me to come back to, like, God is still God, Jesus is still enough.
Yeah.
And then just leaning in on that and trying to do my best to shed that light in a good light. Because there's a responsibility with it. Bear His name, kind of stuff. So that's where I'm at.
Any others?
Yeah, so a few of us go to the same church. Actually, all of us go to the same church, but our church has the slogan, love God, love people, make a difference. And I feel like collectively, we kind of lean into that.
And that all, like, all of our personal faith is, like, stemming into what goes into the band and just trying to, like, share with others the fact that we love Jesus and make Him, like, approachable for people.
Yeah, we just want to connect with people and love on people and
to show people that
where they're at.
I think that's a good point too, like, approachable, whether you have never known Jesus or you did and then, like, walked away or you had some church hurt. And I think we just want to be as, like, real as we can be in a lot of what we do and the way we write and everything.
Especially in, like, discussing topics of, like, the difficulty of Christianity and, like, the hardships that come with it. But like you were saying earlier, like, Jesus is still enough to go through those things.
Because there's a personal walk with Christ, and then there's fellowship with other people. So it's like, I think it is difficult to be a Christian where you kind of, like, isolate yourself from others, because you know, I think the way that we grow is really by learning other people's perspectives on things and like taking that into our own lives and thinking how, you know, oh, this person, like I have this preconceived notion about something, and then somebody else says, oh, here's kind of what I think, and then you just build off of other people's experiences, but specifically, you know, like Christianity related, it's like I think some people might grow up in a church that is very kind of closed-minded on some issues, and just like not really venture or challenge themselves outside of the little box that they kind of grew up in. So I think just wanting to, you know, just trying to be a light is what I've always kind of wanted to do. Like, you know, as far as evangelizing goes, you know, I think I grew up in a church that was very, like evangelical culture, where it's like you need to just go run out to strangers and tell them about Christ. You need to just like, you know, basically be all up in people's faces trying to convert people.
Right.
But I think you have to really meet people where they're at, and you know, just let Christ shine through you through your actions.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just, you know, not trying to say I'm perfect by any means. So, like I fall, I make mistakes, but you know, I want people to be able to see the genuine me, and you know, if they have a question about, you know, Christ and Christianity, I want to be able to have answers to them and just say, you know, here's why I believe what I believe. So I mean, I think you're never a finished Christian in the sense that you're never like, all right, I've learned everything there is to learn. I'm now set. Like, it's always a growing, it's always a process, and we're all just in this together and just trying to live life the best we can for the Holy Spirit.
I think there's a huge responsibility to that, to even be labeled as a Christian, you know, and you know, to be Christ-like. That's definitely what we strive to do. But as far as like living daily to glorify the Lord in everything that we do, I think that's what it means for us to be Christians. You know,
I think we try to follow the name because the name is what we need to do.
It's not easy, but
No, and it's probably not going to be so like perfect. I mean, I think a lot of people try real hard because, you know, I think as Christians, that's kind of what we do in the beginning, but I think it becomes a point where you have to break free from that and realize that it's just a part of your life, and if you really surrendered and if it's really who you are, then
it becomes part of you.
It just becomes part of you, and it's not trying so hard anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah. And
but always representing.
Even if we're not so
I think,
representing.
It's like the reason why that's, I don't know, because that is kind of a lot to unpack there with that question, right? And I think if you do say it, you know, if we profess, hey, we're Christian, then not only
we have the magnifying glass.
we have a magnifying glass on us from like, you know, a worldly standpoint. Everyone, you know, societal, whatever, is going to be like, oh, well then, you know, we're going to see if you slip up or whatever. But in our own walk, you know, I think that if I do say I'm a Christian, then there's just some things that I need to walk out and put out just in my actions, in my words, in my interactions with people. You know, we play hardcore music, more or less, and we play in a scene where there's not a lot of Christians, at least where we're from in California. There are, for sure, but just not a lot. And we play with some bands that are like expressly anti-Christian, and we're totally down to play with them, you know?
And they're totally down to play with us.
And they're totally down to play with us, you know?
And it's not, I guess it's not.
No, it's not like that.
Like what people always say. Like,
no, it's crazy because like they'll be like, dude, you guys are not like how we thought you were gonna be. A lot, right?
Yeah, we do get that a lot, but I think that's, you know, that could be a slippery slope as a Christian. I think,
for sure.
You know, we got to watch our P's and Q's about what we do. Obviously, we're all human, right? But if we are saying we're Christians, then we got to put Jesus in the forefront, and I think that's really what at least I strive to do.
I think that's why I said like it's a huge responsibility.
It is a huge responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're not always going to be perfect.
Definitely,
so,
definitely
if
not.
you see us doing something wrong, pray for us.
Yeah,
you know?
for real.
I mean, don't scold
Throw a
us,
rock
maybe.
at us. I don't know.
Or throw a rock.
Yeah.
And, yeah, because the intercession prayer between believers, I think, is extremely important. I think I've ran into a lot of people this weekend that were just so awesome and incredible. But in it, in conversations, people are also talking about a lot of people in music and people that may have, or their viewpoint is that these artists may have fallen from their faith because they're not doing what they were doing yesterday. But I've, really pondered those things, and it's like we really need to be interceding on the behalf of our brothers and sisters in the music business, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because maybe a year out of their life, they're not looking so hot, but they're just going through something,
Right.
Just keep them in prayer.
Absolutely.
So what did I get out of Audiofeed other than the chance to hear good music? I'd say I had the perfect opportunity to make some new relationships with people I hadn't met before. I got to talk with people that I was able to connect with a lot in terms of the things we believed, but I also got to talk with people that I didn't agree on a lot of things with, and that was still really cool that we were still able to have a very friendly conversation together. I'm glad that everyone seemed okay with being open and honest about what they believed, and I hope we end up having more as a result. On top of that, I was able to have my own little moment during the festival that really impacted me.
So far, one of my favorite moments, if not favorite, definitely like top 3 moments of this festival. The listener ended their set with It's All Happening the Way It Should, which is one of their best songs, but honestly, it had been a while since I'd listened to it, and I've been going through kind of a rough patch in my life where oftentimes I'll just be kind of questioning, like, where's my life going? Like, I thought I had a handle on what I was doing in my life, and then a lot of things changed for me, so a lot of things have been up in the air. And I don't know where any of the members of Listener, where their faith is at, but at least hearing that song and hearing those lyrics, it's like there's a way out, there's a plan, it's all happening the way it should, was just really comforting to me, and I got really emotional hearing that, and I kind of, tried singing along while, in between crying. So that was neat. So one of the best moments of Audiofeed so far.
Where I guess you can plug anything that you want, any of your stuff right now.
I have music available everywhere. It's the issue to write a passion from my head onto leaves and experience on one word.
All right, so that's basically all the deep questions that I had. Where can people find your stuff, like your music or even your teaching?
I'll be honest, it's really hard. I messed up with all the promoting and whatnot. JeremiahDirt.com.
Okay, cool.
It's a joke. It was sarcasm. Look me up, Jeremiah, my name, Dirt, my stage name. Type that in on anything, and you will find JeremiahDirt.com. So.
That's basically all the deep questions that I have now, so you're off the hook.
Good. Give me the dumb ones, please.
So for anyone who hasn't heard your music, I think you've had multiple projects in the past, but how would you describe it, and where can people find your stuff and follow you?
Yeah, you can find it anywhere that music exists. Spotify, Bandcamp. So I had a project called The Still Small Voice for a long time. And that was when I still sort of was like under that umbrella. And I still love the name. Like I still, I picked it for a reason.
Yeah.
But then recently working on this new album, I just was like, it's time to like just, I don't know, take the reins and like own it and go under my own name. I think for a long time, because I'm 33 now, but I think for a long time when I was younger, I was writing stuff that made a lot of sense to put under my name, but I didn't want to get pigeonholed. And then like later on down the road, these like really cool women started coming out doing their like projects under their own name and owning it. And it wasn't just like Taylor Swift, who actually is like probably was pretty dope, but like, and I was like, oh, like that's what I've been wanting to do. So I was just like, I'm like good. I'm good to go on that. So I've kind of switched things over. And it's just, a mix of like indie, folky, melancholy, singing stuff.
Nice. You sold me.
Cool.
I mean, I actually have listened to some of your music.
Yeah.
And I like it. So, and you recently released a new single, is that right?
I put out a single 2 days ago called Champagne, Illinois, about driving home from this festival, being smitten with somebody and whatever. Yeah, just a summery kind of like love song. So yeah, there's cello, there's emo, it's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sad stuff.
Yeah, I'm real proud of it. I really do love the song a lot and worked hard on it. So I'm excited to put it out, and then I'm putting out a full length in October that will be on, and like 11 other songs. So just been busy, but it's cool.
Getting busy. Awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. So, Must Build Jacuzzi. What music do you guys play, and where can people find it?
Yep, so we play a brand of ska punk with some kind of hardcore influences, just lots of stuff. We're on Spotify, streaming services, all that jazz. We're working on a new record that hopefully will be released by like the end of this year, early next year. Check us out if you're interested.
Yeah, so the first description is singer-songwriter, but since I'm a solo artist, I finally have the freedom to play whatever genre I want.
Yeah.
So my first EP is a self-titled EP coming out the 1st of August, and it's like a lo-fi style, and my second EP will be coming out next year in 2023, and it's more of like a indie folk style. So everything is streaming, Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, SoundCloud. It's just Saint of Pine Hills, SAINT, so Saint of Pine Hills. Yeah, it's the only one out there, so I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great name, very unique too.
So in terms of your music, I know you got multiple different avenues, but for anyone who hasn't heard your music, how would you describe it?
Destroy Nate Allen plays interactive sing-along folk punk. We are like as much fun as we can generate with acoustic guitars or full bands, or like we are like an interactive experience.
Right.
So you can look us up online. You'll find all sorts of stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
And then Good Saint Nathaniel's the opposite side of the coin. It's like me being very vulnerable and very quiet.
Right.
So they're like if you look up me, you'll find two distinct portions of my creativity that exist in different ways. So look up Good Saint Nathaniel, goodsaintnathaniel.com or the .coms.
Okay, so that's where people can find you?
Yeah, you can totally look me up and you'll see all sorts of videos, and some will make you smile, some will make you cry.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I'd say it's I just say hip hop. I feel like hip hop's a beautiful genre, and in hip hop there's always other overtones of every genre in it, and that's kind of how the genre originated, right? It was like through samples. So we kind of, in hip hop, we take what we love about every genre of music and put it into one, and then we say what we think over it and we rap. So I would just say hip hop.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Straightforward enough. So where can people find your music or follow you online?
I'm on Spotify. There's Spoken Nerd on Spotify. I'm also on Bandcamp. If you want to support sales, that's cool too. YouTube, you can find me. I mean, basically anywhere where music's distributed.
You know, we are like, sometimes we're a 3-piece or 4-piece. Our band consists of a lot of keyboards, synths. We usually have bass guitar, but if we don't, we use like bass synth. And, we use drum machine and vocals. I use a megaphone sometimes.
Nice.
So, you know, we're in the realm of like synth pop, dark wave, goth, industrial, electro. So any fans of like Sisters of Mercy, Depeche Mode, B&B Nation, the Annex, you know, would like us. Facebook's the biggest one. That is where we have an Angel Machine fan group on there. We have so we have a page, we have our individual profiles, Wade Seraph, April Seraph. We're on 80 Windblown Media Records, which also consists of faith-based industrial rock metal bands. And we have an Instagram, YouTube, a lot of great videos come from the label, so you could definitely find us on Facebook's probably the best place to find us.
How would you describe your music to anyone who hasn't heard it?
I thought you said that's a tough question. I don't know. It's sort of it's evolved and changed a lot. It's very different if I'm playing solo acoustic or if I have a band. You know, I always want to be more rock and roll and play electric. But I guess it's kind of singer, songwriter, folk-esque, indie rock sort of. I don't know. You know, want to be Bruce Springsteen mixed with Nick Cave. I don't know. I wish.
That's a good combination.
Yeah.
Got me sold on that.
All right. Well, you'll be sorely disappointed.
So cool. So where can people find your music anywhere and follow you on?
It's under Max Simmons on Spotify. I got
I'm not sure about it.
newer stuff.
No lot do.
While we had a kid.
No lot do.
We just had
doubt it.
Taking a big break from the pandemic. The world's falling apart.
I should have known.
There's been a lot to write about, so I've got some new music coming that I've been working on, just trying to get it out there. But yeah, it's on Spotify. I think I have an Instagram that's just me in my life, but I'm hoping to post more music stuff as it rolls out. But yeah,
sure. I think the genre we can most identify with is probably alternative rock, which is very vague. But,
Yeah.
We have some influences of like, you know, there's pop punk in there somewhere. There's a little classic rock in there somewhere. There's current alternative rock that's happening right now. So there's kind of a mixture of everything in there. We kind of identify with like bands like The Killers, Young the Giant, Kings of Leon, Switchfoot. Like those are bands that we've all grown up listening to and kind of, you know, we've embraced their styles and we somehow find it to bleed into our music too. We're on all streaming platforms right now, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, if people still use that.
Oh, blast from the past. Yeah, that's cool. Our tag is Lightshore, just anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify. And we released our first EP at the end of last year, and we're releasing a new single. We just wrapped it up in the studio, so it should come out sometime by the end of the summer. Yeah. Cool. Be on the lookout for that. It's called Slow Motion, right? Slow Motion by Lightshore. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I mean, for anyone who they maybe haven't heard Doulos, how would you guys describe your music and where can they find you?
Describe our music
as best as you can.
Okay, so we can't even describe our music.
Yeah, it's
I got
difficult.
an example.
But,
Okay.
I don't know if the rest of them will.
We're not gonna agree. We're definitely not.
We're definitely not.
I like to compare like Rage Against the Machine. They're a big influence, at least for me growing up. One of the introductions in the metal, but they do such a blend of their own like hip hop and metal. It's like a melting pot for us, but with more hardcore punk in there and more metal.
Rap.
It's definitely like our own mix of stuff. That's the best example I think.
I think so. And I think something that I've heard out here that I guess we don't notice because we're from California is we have a California sound apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would I guess like you know
angrier? Is it
California
rude?
like Southern California hardcore-esque, but you know we do come from different walks of life and we like different types of music.
We like
I think we're all
breakdowns.
we're all very influenced by hip hop.
Yes.
But and punk, big time, and hardcore. You know, I'm a hardcore kid. You know, that's just what I grew up with. So yeah.
He is a hardcore kid.
Yeah.
Okay, and where can people find you guys?
Oh yeah, we're on
everywhere.
Yeah, Spotify,
Apple Music,
YouTube, Tidal, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it though?
Our Instagram.
On online we go by XDoulos.
Okay,
But our Instagram.
Our Instagram is different.
DoulosXHC.
We love the X.
Cool. I'll be sure to find you guys and like put it in text
Yeah.
or
Cool.
something. But cool, awesome.
I guess what we've kind of been comfortable with, like calling like atmospheric black metal.
Gotcha.
You
Yeah,
know,
that sounds right.
Atmospheric, post metal, whatever. Metal elements.
Right.
No restrictions.
Yeah.
Go anywhere we want it to go.
I like that.
But
No boxes.
That influence is obviously the biggest thing.
I mean, that's art, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The first record, which is what we played everything today, we played off our first record, which came out 2 years ago, because we've had very little opportunities to really promote it in the last 2 years. So we're kind of just getting going on that.
Yeah.
But we are writing new material that's much more in the almost like post-rock vein than it is even very heavy. But there'll always be some of everything.
Gotcha.
We love bands like Wolves in the Throne Room is like a huge influence to us and like how we write.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And Zayo?
Oh, I love Zayo. I mean, the sound guy today came up. He's like, "You sound like Dan," and I was like, I could cry.
Thank you.
It wasn't like intentional, but I just love it. Yeah, we're on Instagram, Threnodian_official. Facebook, Threnodian official. Our website, we had to. Long story, but it had to be torn down, so we're rebuilding a new one.
Oh, gosh.
So we'll announce all of that through there. We're a Threnodian band on Bandcamp. You can buy the record on there if you'd like to, or stream it. Obviously, we're streaming on every platform.
Nice.
And yeah.
So my biggest influences are kind of all over the place, but I'd say the biggest, my favorite artist of all time is Andrew Peterson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So kind of acoustic singer-songwriter.
I almost saw him live like a few weeks ago, but it didn't work out. Yeah, he was in the Illinois area.
Have you seen him live before?
No.
So good. It's like, I describe it, not to get off too long thing, I describe it as like going to have a really good conversation with one of your closest friends and then coming out just filled with the spirit, you know, so encouraged. I love Andrew's art, but I also love like the other spectrum is like Amberlin and Me Without You are my favorite bands. I would kind of put myself as like the average between Andrew Peterson and Amberlin because I love the bigger melodies and I love going up higher when I can with my voice and having a bigger sound. But I just love the conversational tone of guys like Andrew Peterson and Andy Goldhorn, another guy. And so that would be in a nutshell, but my influences range all over the place.
Pretty much all the names that you mentioned, I'm definitely down for.
I just got a new record called Shelter Heart that's on all platforms, basically. It's actually produced by Andrew Peterson's son, Asher. And,
nice.
Yeah, so it was a blast, but his work on it is wonderful, and I'm just a guy who writes songs from my experiences, and then when I hear somebody do great work on top of it, I'm like, I don't know how this happened, but again, I'm thankful. So
gotta be grateful.
So that's out, and I'm very, very proud of it. So I would love, whoever could check it out.
Everyone, go check it out. Everyone in the world.
Well, we kind of try to put ourselves out from the pack of other rock bands by saying we are a nautical rock and roll band.
What does that mean?
We're just a rock band with some reverb on it, basically.
Got
make
some
it sound
wetness on it.
underwater.
Some surf influence.
But yeah, it's got some surf rock influence and definitely got a grungy influence. So it kind of sounds like a rusty ship would sound, kind of grungy, but kind of underwater. Sometimes aggressive, going with the chaos of the storm. Sometimes full of holes, and full of holes somewhere.
Wow, so deep
in the music. It's very deep, as deep as the ocean. You see what we can do when we're not improvising.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, so we brand ourselves as a nautical rock and roll band. The lyrics in the songs, we try to do like nautical themes and like our last album, Liquid Exorcist, and the upcoming one, Dark Side of the Ocean, they're both concept albums that follow a story. So we do try to have like thematically stuff that has to do with the ocean or something. It's kind of our shtick.
Right.
People like it. It's fun to do. It kind of makes us do something different and distinct.
Yeah.
But aside from the whole nautical thing with the lyrics and stuff, we're kind of a grungy surf rock kind of band.
Gotcha. Cool. So where can people find you guys?
All
at this table.
Yeah, at this table for the rest of this.
Well, it'll be
event.
too late by the time the video comes out.
For those of you who are not physically here right now, all of the streaming services that are out there, all of our stuff, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, all of our videos are on our YouTube channel, so check that out. Or you can go to our website, rustyshipwith2ps.com, and then we're on Facebook, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. Everywhere you can find it. We're on the interwebs.
Online. Awesome. For anyone who's not heard you guys' music, how would you describe your music?
I'd say angry.
Angry?
Yeah. I don't really know.
Like any influences and such?
For me, tons. There's like so many just different
everything.
ones too. I love country. I love stuff like Dan, who's playing right now, is wearing a Mazzy Star t-shirt.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Mazzy Star and all that stuff. So like, I pull a little bit from everything, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Just if I had to give it like some classification, it's like there's times where it's like I've had people say it reminds them of like old Poison the Well mixed with like some of that newer like heavy under stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that's the stuff that I grew up with. Yeah. You guys mentioned that Aaron Gillespie helped produce your
Aaron
latest
produced
album.
our last EP and this record that's about to come out.
Nice.
And then there's some like there's like a song that's very new metal on the record that Sonny from POD is on.
Okay, that makes sense.
That we played tonight, and we developed a relationship with him. We're like, let's write something that like just has like a big fun vibe, and that way he can be a part of it. And so like the record, honestly, it's like it's really all over the place because Aaron was really adamant on. He's like, I wanted to build a new identity for you guys, that it wasn't like just any one band that he wanted it to be like you heard it before.
Yeah.
And so like our last EP was very much us, but there's a bunch of bands that sound very similar.
Yeah.
And this new record, he was like, I all the writing that you've done in the past, we're just gonna like change all of it.
Yeah.
And so we went in fresh and wrote a completely new record that I think sounds like revisionist. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I respect that you guys. I respect anyone that doesn't box themselves into one thing.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
We really had no idea what it was gonna come out when we went in.
That's got to be fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. He like flew into our hometown and just crashed on the couch and spent 2 weeks above a bar in this like unfinished loft writing and recording the record. And
right.
I don't think I could have thought it would have got the way that it did. So
Awesome.
Good, so.
And that has yet to come out, right?
Correct. We're working on the release right now.
Okay. Cool. Well, where can people follow you, find you guys' stuff?
There's a link thing on our Instagram, and then it's everything's Facebook, Spotify, like the spiel, yeah. So follow us on YouTube.
So for anyone out there who's not heard Meadow's music before, how would you describe your guys' music?
Go listen to it now.
Just go listen to it.
So Zay,
Enough said.
Zay is actually a fill-in, so tell us what you
okay.
think, Zay. Hearing it for the first time.
So the thing is, as an outsider.
I wasn't really into the scene.
Okay.
This kind of got me.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely like I'm a guy that if I'm listening to a song, I like to read the lyrics.
Right.
And like listening to their new album that just came out not too long ago. Reading the lyrics, like it helped me get into the genre a lot easier. Yeah. So I would say that just from like an outsider perspective, it's very relatable. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Any like influences or inspirations for your music?
Yeah.
All over
Just all
the
of it?
place, kind of.
It's really
all over the place.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot
of people would assume that we listen to a lot of like really heavy bands, but honestly, most of us don't listen to heavy music a lot
That
at all. And not that that's a
case,
bad
yeah.
thing whatsoever, but kind of selective about that kind of stuff.
I think collectively there's a few bands that we all love, like Bane or Defeater.
And Have Heart was mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
absolutely Have Heart.
Kind of like a lot of more like old school hardcore.
Yeah.
Like sort of stuff.
Cool.
But then it's like you start weaving in like explosions in the sky or like some weird like atmospheric stuff or things that I said this not too long ago and I was like, man, I feel like that struck me. But it's like when I'm listening to music, I like to feel, but I ultimately like to respond. Like I want to be drawn to what I'm listening to.
Right.
Like feel or think. There's like just make me want to think the same way that not to like be profound, but just like I think music can be extremely powerful. Even just like a certain chord progression can do something to you,
like unintentionally, like elicit a response to it.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So where can people check out your music, follow you online?
6:45 at the Sanctuary.
Well, this video will come out a little too late. But
Spotify, Apple Music, MDWS Band on. No vowels. Spotify, you can just search that. In those days and also after our current record, Face Down.
Today. First song with
Face Down Records, The Depths. We have a music video for The Depths that we're really proud of. So definitely check it out.
We're gonna be re-performing that video live.
Cool. So what would I say? Is Audiofeed a Christian festival? Not in the way some people might think. It's not Christian in the way that Creation Festival or Winter Jam is, but I would say that it is Christian in the way that others have already said in my interviews. It's Christian in the sense that the people in the fest do their best to show the love of Christ to everyone, including those who may not believe in the same way. And whether it's Christian or not, its model does provide the great opportunity for any Christian like me to show the gospel to others and to have deep conversations about things having to do with religion and the church. And as long as that's still a possibility, I will always give Audiofeed my thumbs up of approval. Thanks, Audiofeed, for the amazing experience, and I hope to come back next year and the years to come. Welcome back. Why not? All right.
We might have to go back a little bit.
That's fine. All right.
1, 2, 3, up, and then we'll go like that.
I thought you were doing it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I didn't look at the camera. I should look at the camera.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
We'll just keep that.
One more. We got it. We got this.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
These waves don't cover me. I'm turned and tossed upon the waves. When the darkness comes, I feel the grave, but I still believe. I still believe.